Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am an actual, real-live dragon, and you cannot prove otherwise. For those of you who know what I primarily do on this channel, I'm sure you're surprised to see a video that not only contains my annoying voice, but also is completely devoid of Elite Dangerous content. I apologize for this. I told myself I would get away from commentary and just focus on time-lapse videos and other raw gameplay content. I don't have the talent to do reviews or commentary, and I don't have the equipment for it either. Regardless, I feel that this needs to be discussed, simply due to the fact that I, as small as my channel is, am still a content creator on YouTube. Some of you may remember my encounter with Shooter Tactics, a Unity asset amalgamation whose cries for death went unheard by the unstable Australian who developed it, opting instead to go on a rampage at anybody who didn't like his game throughout all of his dozen or so attempts at getting the fucking thing greenlit. For those of you who remember that whole debacle, you know exactly how I feel about asshole indie devs who treat their audience like idiots and try to stop any negative criticism of their work. The latest shitshow to grace this circle of hell that we call YouTube comes in the form of StiCli Games, yet another developer who thought that they would succeed where all others have failed in shutting down criticism and avoiding the Streisand effect, and that they would live happily ever after to sell their laughable attempt at an airport simulator to the oblivious masses free from any and all negative feedback. We find ourselves once again in the wake of Jim Sterling sparking a tantrum from an indie dev on Steam and the ensuing hilarity. Only this tantrum isn't so much hurling around takedowns on videos or censoring forum criticism, although my comment on their Steam discussion page about it was deleted. No, this is a special brand of tantrum coming from one of the most unbearable types of degenerate studios, a type that involves them acting professional and banking on the idea that that will be enough to fool all their potential customers whom they regard as total morons. You see, StiCli Games is a special kind of scummy. They decided that instead of hurling takedowns at everybody, they would just sit back and draft up a contract of adhesion in the form of an end-user license agreement that attempts to state that anybody playing their game agrees to not make any sort of content involving their game unless they have prior written consent. Even if this was a legally binding contract that would be held up in court, which it fucking isn't, then I'm completely safe because this footage is courtesy of Jim Sterling, and as such I have never played their game or agreed to their EULA. Suck my scaly balls, StiCli. Oh, and they also tried to circumvent Steam's refund policy by putting a no refunds clause in their EULA, which is illegal in many places. But that's not all. They are currently in the process of attempting to silence Jim Sterling, not with a copyright takedown, he's too protected for that, but with a fucking trademark takedown of all things. StiCli Games is trying to claim that a critical review of their game is attempting to undermine their branding by selling a product that either directly infringes on or confuses their trademark. Jim Sterling is not trying to sell anything. He is not trying to confuse their brand with his own. If anything, StiCli is the one associating their brand with the guy simply by giving him ammunition to create more videos about them. This attempt at silencing criticism is even more fraudulent than a copyright takedown. At least with that, they would have had the argument of using my game in videos is infringing on my rights. Even if that wouldn't, and didn't, hold up in court, there is at least that argument pertaining to whether or not it's fair use. But with a takedown based on a trademark violation, that's about as pathetic as you can get without being a certain Spanish YouTuber who files takedowns on channels that can't hope to fight back because they covered his atrocious Banjo-Kazooie ripoff in a negative manner. DalasReview, you fucking degenerate coward. The reason I feel the need to bring this up in my own video is because the more videos out there demanding something be done to protect the content creators, the more likely it is that Google will finally decide that the people who make them their money deserve a bone every once in a while. The Fair Use Protection Program is a nice start, but you have to have been the victim of a fraudulent takedown already, as well as be dubbed worth the effort to be given the option to enroll. What about those of us that make up 90% of YouTube? Those of us who only have a few hundred subscribers and are looking to grow our channels and audiences? I don't monetize my videos, and I focus near exclusively on a game that the devs have granted full permission to post content for. So I have next to no chance at ever being put in the crosshairs of people like Digital Homicide, DalasReview, or StiCli Games. But what about the people who have the talent and potential to run large and successful channels? What about the many amazing content creators out there just waiting for their time to shine? Video game critique is a big and very popular business. We need more people out there providing honest opinions so that the same few people don't monopolize things. The more perspectives and viewpoints, the better. But how can people hope to grow their channels if every time they try to review something, the owners of that just slam them with a takedown or start threatening them with legal action? It doesn't matter how shitty of a case the accusers might have, 99% of the time the smaller guys won't be able to defend themselves in court and can't risk financially crippling themselves, so they just bend over and take it. YouTube, get your shit together and do something to keep these people safe. You owe them that much. I am Ark the Dragon signing off. Fly safe, Commanders.